Let's get the dirt on poverty. In this edition of WJTS in.form, I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is the Executive Director for TRICAP, Joyce Fleck. Joyce, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Bill.
Now, I use that little term, get the dirt on poverty, because you have an event coming up called the Mudslinger. It's a way to raise funds for TRICAP. But let's talk about the Mudslinger a little bit, and then we're going to talk about why the money that is being raised by this event is needed by TRICAP.
Okay.
The Mudslinger is a trail run at the Ferdinand State Forest. That's unusual.
Right. And it's coming up this fall, November 3rd. It's a little early to promote this, but it's so new, a lot of people don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Next
Right.
year it'll have a little more promotion through the Du Bois County Tourism. It was a little late throwing it together this year, but we've been on before. We're always trying to find ways to raise money and meet our local match for our federal grants. This is one new way that folks. Health is one component of our agency, so this is obviously one way to promote better health as well. But get the dirt on poverty was kind of a cute little tagline that our committee thought of, and there'll be some poverty stats throughout the trail that they can read as they're running or gather that day.
Okay, now what's really neat is it's a trail run, which is unusual. It's also late in the year, so the weather will be kind of sketchy.
Extra challenging.
But you are running on a trail, so it's a good thing we have you on a little bit early, because people will want to go out to the Ferdinand State Forest and start running this trail so they get an idea what they're actually going to run if they do the 13 miles. But there's also a 5K or 3.5 miles.
Yes.
You can run that as well.
Right.
Can you go to the TRICAP website and get information?
You can go to our TRICAP website, look for the big Mudslinger, it's like a mud splat logo. Okay. Look for that, click on it, and it'll take you to the other Mudslinger. There's a specific website just for the Mudslinger. Okay. And you can put that on the screen. It's really long to spell it out, but you can go either way.
Okay,
find
now,
the information.
if for an event like this to happen, you have a lot of people who've partnered with you to make this happen.
Yes, we do have several sponsors. I don't know that we aired them a while ago, but thank you WBDC, WJTS, all the sponsorships that you're providing for this event. It's new, so a lot of people are kind of scratching their head going, why would I want to sponsor? They don't understand what it's about. Du Bois County Tourism, I mentioned before too, they're one of our gold sponsors. And we have Master Brand is on board with us, Boogie Tunes, they're going to be there providing some after race entertainment for folks. ASP Advertising, Universal Designs, Wabash Valley Produce, Wilson Dentistry, Woods Printing, Du Bois REC, Green Thumb, Inwood Office Furniture, Winkler & Sons, and we even had a little help from German American Bank in our planning stages of creating the logo. So that's a lot of people for no one even hearing about this until today.
Okay, if somebody would like to be a sponsor, can they still sign up?
Absolutely, it's not too late.
You'll take them right up to the day of, by golly.
Sure.
And we'll even sign them up for next year if you want.
Right.
Okay, you're hoping that this is very successful, because this is the first year, and hopefully it'll turn into something that's an annual event. I'm expecting that you're going to have runners from all across the nation, because it is a trail run, and it's at the Ferdinand State Forest, which is known for really good trails.
Mm-hmm. And it's late enough in the year that hopefully it won't interfere with other trail runs that are happening throughout the summer months and things like that. But you mentioned too, it's going to be cold. Think about that. Think about our clients. Think about going home and having your furnace not working, or trying to pay your utility bill that winter. I mean, it's just coming around the corner. It's not even winter yet here in November in southern Indiana. For anyone listening this far away, it could be any kind of weather that day. You might have 70-degree weather. You don't know.
I'd say it's probably going to be chilly.
It could be 60,
my guess.
But you never know.
If someone registers, it's $30, I think, for the 5K.
Yes.
And it's $50 for
anywhere from 30
trail?
to 60, depending on which one you sign up for and how early you sign up. Right.
And you get a fleece jacket.
Right.
So that's a pretty good deal. So you get a fleece jacket, and you get to help out TRICAP. And let's talk about why TRICAP is doing fundraiser. TRICAP is not a federally funded organization, although you do get federal funds through grants, correct? So that's maybe where people think, oh, they get plenty of tax money. Not really. You have to fight for that.
Right, absolutely. There is a multitude of grants. It's much too in-depth to talk about all this on the air, how to get into this, but we do compete for most of our grants that are federal grants, and a good number of them have a matching requirement. Some will let you match through in-kind donations, which is the value of someone volunteering their time, so we're looking for volunteers all the time for different things as well, and some, it must be actual cash match. So it gets challenging more and more all the time, and of course the sequester, that has had an effect on our agency as everywhere else. Mm-hmm. So we have to come up with creative ways to combat that so that we don't have to reduce our services.
And you want to be able to keep continuing your services because you do such good work. TRICAP centers on a lot of different facets of helping people, but one is poverty. Is poverty really that much of a problem? And what is poverty?
Well, by definition, when you hear federal poverty line, federal poverty guidelines, things like that, the numbers change all the time. So I'll just, like one example, 100% of federal poverty guideline, someone's earned income must be below $23,550 for a family of 4. So that means you're in poverty. I mean, this is...
We just don't realize that there are people right next to us who are struggling to put food in their cabinets.
Right. We have clients that are making minimum wage, and they're trying to. This is a tough economy, you know. Recent graduates, they're not finding jobs that quickly, and they don't know to turn to us. But we're doing more and more outreach all the time, because the thing we hear the most is people said, "We wish we'd have known about TRICAP sooner."
With TRICAP, how can somebody get help through you? What should they be? People are proud.
Right.
What do they do?
Well, like I said before, all of our services are very confidential. You know, we don't share information, anything like that. Very respectful of our clients. You come in, you're going to sit behind closed doors with someone that will sit down with you. We have a multitude. We have 70 very specialized trained staff covering a wide range of services and areas. And come on in, and no matter what your need is, we always sit down with you to find out, did we meet all of your needs, not just the one you came in and asked about. There may be other services within TRICAP, other services in the community. We try to take a holistic approach to make sure that everything is met as best can be, and to educate the client on how to better manage their finances and things like that. Anything they can do to help improve their situation, that's what we try to do.
Now, I think a lot of people, when they think of TRICAP, they think of the weatherization, and they also think of Head Start. That's
those are the two most
of
visible.
75, you said? Maybe? No, of how many different?
Oh, at least a dozen.
Okay.
It changes all the time.
Yeah, that's only 10% of what you do.
Weatherization, I don't know if I've said it before when I've been on the air, little did you know facts, I've kind of given those to Ty, maybe he'll read those throughout the week or whatever. Weatherization, you can own your own home, but you don't have to. You might be renting a home, a mobile home, even an apartment. As long as the utility bill is in the tenant's name, and you meet these certain income guidelines, and I hope you don't take away from this that that's the only people we help with this. There's much more staggered income guidelines that are even higher than that, depending on which program we're talking about. That's why you don't hear me often quote income guidelines, but you can receive assistance if you're meeting the federal grant guidelines, income guidelines for that specific grant. And they vary for every grant we have.
So I guess if somebody if they're struggling in some way, if financially they feel, gosh, you know, I'm surprised at how I have to work so hard to be able to pay the electric bill each month. Is that the kind of person that should give you a call just to see?
Yes,
What's it hurt?
Just to see. There's no harm in asking. No harm in asking at all. And sometimes if you are over income, we'll take a look at your situation. We'll make referrals as needed. And if it's a really dire situation that you've not asked for help in the past, and it's just a temporary setback or something like, sometimes we can use funds like that are raised through the Mudslinger for those marginal folks who have never needed help before. They've maybe just recently lost a job, so their last 12 months of income does not yet reflect this poverty level, but they're falling, and we can help.
Okay, so the best thing to do is just contact you.
Right.
Now, TRICAP is not just Du Bois County, It's
a wide service area. Du Bois, Pike, and Warwick is what the Tri means 3. It's what that stands for. Those are our 3 charter counties. There are CAP agencies like us all over the United States. Every county in the country is covered by one CAP agency or another. And depending on the service or area of expertise, we all work together as a network. We are a standalone 50c3. We're a private, entity, charity. We're not part of a franchise or anything like that, but we reach out to one another. If we have an area of expertise, we will serve other counties with that area. For example, the Hardest Hit Housing Fund, the foreclosure prevention, we service multiple counties in southwestern Indiana, over 20, I think, counties with that. Over 40 total. When you add it all up, there's over 40 counties that we work in.
And to do this good work, it takes money. Obviously, somebody can just stop by and write you a check if they would like.
Sure.
Right? I mean, you love donations, or maybe through an estate. If somebody wants to do some planning in that way, that is another great way to help TRICAP. But you're going to do the Mudslinger, which is a fundraiser. You do a couple throughout the year, but this is a different kind of fundraiser. Let's kind of recap again. It is November 3rd. Kind of the details.
November 3rd, 10 a.m. at the Ferdinand State Forest. Runners, we'd like for you to be there around 9:15 if you could. we don't know how many hundreds of runners may show up. We don't know, could be a dozen. Who knows? It's the first year. We hope for a lot more. The fellow putting it together for us is a local cross-country coach. He expects 400 to 500 runners in a year or two when the word gets out.
Sure.
So, you will be involved in the first year and let your friends know about it if you're a runner or a walker. Please don't think that you can only be there if you're a runner, a trained runner.
Because there will be a lot of people, there's a lot of people that walk
Oh, yes.
at the Ferdinand Forest. And they might as well just go ahead and pay that little, they get a fleece jacket and
You're making a tax deductible donation. It's wonderful. You're helping someone else.
Go to the website, TriCap, or you can go to the WJTS.TV website, or you can go to the WBDC.US website, and there will be a link there to the registration and the trail so that if you want to start preparing yourself for that. Do you need volunteers to help that day?
I'm not part of the committee that's actually working with the details, but I would imagine, yes, we will.
I imagine it takes a lot of people to, somebody's got to sit in the woods and say, run that way, run toward that tree. Okay, well, Joyce, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, just if you don't know what we do, if you're still wondering what we do, please just visit our website. There's so much information out there. And I've always tell people, if you learn something new, share it with someone else. If you learn something new about TriCap, tell someone else about it, because there's no way anyone can retain all of this in one conversation.
Right. Well, thank you very much for being with us. Our guest has been the Executive Director of TriCap, Joyce Fleck, and they do have a mudslinger event coming up November 3rd. It's a trail run at the Ferdinand State Forest. Anybody you know that runs or walks, there's a 5K and a half marathon, 13.1 miles, that they may want to participate, have them contact TriCap or go to the website. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. We are local people watching local people.